Oh, hey buddy, it's your old pal Scott, and this is Let's Talk Tabletop. This video is going to be a hobby roundup of the different things that I've been doing, some games I've been playing. I'm going to give you some 2-minute battle reports of exactly what happened in my games, and I've been doing a bunch of kit bashes for my Freeguild Fusiliers for Cities of Sigmar, and I also wanted to discuss the long and storied history of my general for Cities of Sigmar because they keep pulling out the rug from under him. So, let's get into it. So let's start off talking about the games that I've played. I played an Age of Sigmar game last week with me and my buddy James teamed up against our friend Josh. And this is how it panned out in this 2-minute battle report. So I was playing my Night Haunt and teamed up with James's Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and we were going against Josh's Beastmen. We were using the tactical objectives from 40k 10th edition just to spice things up a bit. Now, this unit of 10 Bulgors is a total jerk, I gotta tell you, because they get mortals on a 2-up. When they charge in, they reroll the 1s for the 2-ups, and then, of course, they're 3 damage each, and that blob completely murdered my Dreadscythe Harridans. I had 20 Harridans, and they were murdered before they ever struck. Josh ended up beating us by just a little bit, but essentially we were doing hit-and-run tactics the entire time because we were never able to kill that Bulgor squad. So they basically just ran around and wrecked the place. But we were able to pull off like a 10-point difference, and he certainly did kill us, but it was still a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I was out of the game basically on turn 1. I run a monthly wargaming club at the local library with some teens to get them into wargaming and all of that, and we play Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar. And last week we had our monthly meetup, and my friend James came to help me, and we played against one of our friends, Max. And Max plays Ultramarines. He had Ultramarines and Guard allied. I brought my Grey Knights, and James brought his Drukhari. We were using 10th edition's mission cards, and essentially the one where you play soccer, you kick the objectives back and forth. There was 3 objectives down the center line and 1 of each in our deployment zones. Over the course of the game, essentially those outriders in the middle kicked it all the way to our deployment zone, scoring him big points. Meanwhile, my Nemesor Dread Knight dropped back there with the Basilisk, destroyed the Basilisk, and took that objective, which was kind of a big deal. At the end of the game, Max ended up winning by 2 points, so it was a very close and fun game. Then, we got another game in this week at the club, and this was the normal gaming club, and I brought my Night Haunt. I teamed up with my friend Ash and his Soulblight Gravelords versus our friend Josh's Beastmen. This was a little bit of a rematch. We wanted to do something narrative, so we decided that my Night Haunt and the Soulblight were going after 3 of his units of Josh's choice, and they're marked for death. We're coming to take their soul. If at the end of the game, Josh's 3 units are alive, or at least one of them is alive, our mission is incomplete. If we kill all 3 of them by the end of the game, then our mission is complete. And that's the way it worked. The key mistake here in this mission was made by Josh. He allowed his big hammer unit, his Bulgors, to ambush and assault, wiping out my Dreadscythe Harridans in this corner, but it left the rest of his 3 very valuable units more or less defenseless. And that wolf dragon in the corner there that's Ash's, he was basically able to chase the units around and eat them all. I think it would have been a very different game if those Bulgors were closer to the target units, but they basically spent the rest of the game trying to get back to the middle of the board and didn't have much impact. My most notable contribution to this game is that my Morngul ate one of the 3 target units that helped us win the game. Now that that's all wrapped up, you know what I did then? Well, I've been really busy hobbying this week, and I wanted to show you my kit bashes for Freeguild Fusiliers. One of my all-time favorite units for Cities of Sigmar, and for Empire in general, was the handgunners. I've loved them before they were good, I loved them during when they were good, and I still love them to this day. But they have now been replaced with the Freeguild Fusiliers, and you can see that they're roughly analogous to the handgunners, but they've got a lot more armor and the shields, so I was at an impasse. I could sell my old handgunners and spend $250 on 4 new boxes of Fusiliers, or I could spend $50 on some shields from eBay and just make my own Fusiliers. So this really was a triple win for me. I get to save $200, I get to keep my old handgunners, and I get to use the new unit rules.
Obviously, this isn't quite as spiffy as the new Fusiliers, but I was happy with the result, and that little token in front of them is supposed to be the resupply guy. I just made it a carton of ammunition. So that brings me to the story of Lord Douglas of Carey, and this is my general. He's been my general ever since the beginning of Age of Sigmar, and originally he was one of those generals on horseback. He had that same bald head that he has now with the beard, and I ended up having to pop off that head and put it onto the female knight of Cursed City, because I really liked her pose, and I gave him a Zweihandler, or whatever that giant sword is, to be my general on foot. But now in the new Cities of Sigmar book, there is no foot-slogging general. Now there's a Freeguild marshal, and now he has a relic envoy. So once again, my boy, Douglas of Carey, had to make another overhaul, and now he's a Freeguild field marshal with a relic envoy, and you can see his page there. I painted him up from a D&D box that I had, and he's even got the spider symbol on the back of the shield, so I'm happy with how it is now. As you Brutality fans may know, Brutal Epic is on its way out in a couple months here, and it's kaiju and mech and superhero battles, so I need to paint up a bunch of 6mm terrain. So I've been dry brushing a lot of buildings, but what is most recent is that my friend TJ printed these trees off for me, and I've been having a ton of fun painting these different shades of greens and all of that, and I think it really adds to it that I added the clump flock on the bottom of it to make it look like undergrowth, and I'm really happy with how these are coming out. Actually, TJ is printing this many more for me in a slightly different height, so they'll have some variation in height and color, and it's going to really bring color and interest to the board.
In addition to all of that, I've also been working in my free time on the Brutal Epic, which is a kaiju, mecha, and superhero rules adaptation for Brutality. And that is the next thing that's going to be coming out, a new supplement. And that's why I've been painting those trees and all of that. And then I've also been working on something that's a little bit farther down the timeline, is my girls and I have been playtesting the Brutality RPG rules that are going to be compatible to any RPG module that you can find that either uses D10s or D20s. So it could also be D100s, I suppose. Anyway, I would love to know what you have been up to, and I genuinely mean that. It's always exciting to see what people are working on, what they've had painted recently, what they've purchased and assembled, the games they've played. Now, if you could comment on the video and say whatever projects you've been working on, I would be genuinely interested. Of course, that is engagement for the channel, which helps the channel, but I really am interested in what you've been up to, because I find it inspiring to always see what other people are doing, any kit bashes you've made, paint jobs you've done, that sort of thing. And hopefully this has helped inspire you to maybe, kick it into gear and get some stuff done. As always, I would like to thank my Patreon patrons for supporting the show, and they are just fantastic people, and I would like to thank you all for watching and staying to the end of the show.
This week's Patreon Spotlight is on Grendel. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Little known fact about Grendel, he's known for his baked bean and fried egg pizza.